our intrepid leader, Kobe, had sent a band of merry men, survivors, reprobates, bandits, thieves, whatever you want to call them, into the town of Conan to do some reconnaissance, to find out some of the things that are going on, and maybe to look at getting some fuel. They left at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, travelled to a Catholic church just outside of Conan, or not just on the outskirts of Conan, where they managed to obtain some papers so they can travel into Conan. There is a forger that actually works in the church. I'm not saying that the church is bad and it's full of criminals and anything like that, but this is the far future. This is the far past. This is the past of the future that never happened. Okay, we're getting a bit confused now. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, they obtained some papers and they travelled into Conan. They had some adventures. They saw some things. They saw an old friend. They didn't chat with the old friend. I thought it was particularly rude of them to not go and say hello to their old friend.
He wasn't well.
Well, you don't know if that was the old friend. The old friend could have been the old friend. But, that's another story. We start...
He may have been flying a helicopter at the time.
He may have been flying a helicopter at the time. We start our story today. It's about midday. Kobe, you're at the number station. Maria is here. Kat is here. Maria's two kids are bickering on the bed. You and Maria at the moment in the small room where the radio is, siphoning through various channels, trying to pick up any interesting tidbits, any information, trying to gather your own level of intelligence. And after about an hour of cycling through frequencies, you manage to pick up some chatter in Polish. The chatter is definitely semi-military orientated. And with a bit of translation from Maria, the CIA agent that is with you, you determine that you have managed to find the frequency for the Polish militia group that operate and run in Conan. So while your team are gathering in-person intelligence, you've managed to locate them. It's not coded. Coded transmissions are very, very rare these days. It's Polish, which you don't understand, but it's translated for you by Maria. And you pick up various bits about transportations. You heard a message about be prepared, the helicopter is leaving, which kind of, disturbed you slightly. Because you've only seen one helicopter, and that was on the first day after you escaped from the medical hospital in Kalisz, after the Soviet attack on that medical facility, which started the whole shenanigans of you guys being together. You think back to the people that you've lost along the way, dear Second Lieutenant Parker, and the burden of command that is left upon you. And at that point, the radio starts screeching with a lot of interference. And she turns it off. She looks at you. Are you okay? You seem lost.
I'm concerned about the team that is out, of course.
Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I need you to go and do something. That feedback was something wrong with the aerial. I need you to go out and take a look.
Where? Okay. Where is the area located? Because we know that was hidden.
It comes out here, straight up. It's a tree just above this area, and it's in the tree.
Okay.
You'll see it.
All right.
Don't worry.
Okay.
It's not as well hidden as the The Jeep you've got. That's pretty well hidden. I did find it, but that's pretty well hidden.
Oh, you did find it. Okay, that's good.
He kind of turns in Polish and shouts out of the door into the main room at the kids something, and there's a scuffle of whatever they were doing in there and silence. So 2 kids, and she kind of just looks, haven't they been the same since they lost their father? Anyway, if you can check the antenna for me, that'll be great. We got something there. We got the frequency that may help things going forward.
Okay, so I will head out. Keep the kids quiet, especially while we open the hatch. We wouldn't want.
See Kat's pouring, making some tea, and takes over some cups of tea to the kids. And the teenage girl, is there, and she's got a few tears in her eyes. And the young lad, her son, Gabriel, is frowning, and he kind of looks at you as you kind of walk past him, and there is almost an intense look of defiance to you, and maybe a little dislike. You know, you have been in a room with his mother for the past 2 hours, but working, of course.
I'll smile at him kindly.
And just frowns at you, turns his head and says something to his sister, and she just kind of ducks down, and she's a bit younger and kind of pulls out the doll that she's got and just kind of hugs the doll. You kind of see Kat's there and say, I'll look after them. Okay. As you head up the hatch, climbing the ladder and out into the forest.
Have we, by the way, heard anything? Like, has there been radio contact at all with the team, or not yet?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
And you climb out, and you can just see right by where you are. You can just see under the trees. There's the hatch. You climb out of the hatch, cover the hatch up, and you start looking around. And you follow, roughly knowing where the hatch is, to where the number station is. Move over to the tree, and you can just see very, very well concealed, like a plastic black conduit with green paint on it that's covered up, and you kind of follow that conduit into the tree, and you can just see the aerial wire going up. So you kind of start climbing up. Can you make a mobility roll, please?
Yes. I didn't notice anything disturbing the area around the tree or anything.
No, it's quiet. So you can't even see the UAZ 469.
It's well hidden.
It's well hidden. You know where it is, but you can't see it. You kind of struggle to fight your way up, get a branch whack you across the face. And you're finding it difficult to get up. You can see where the wire is, but it's a bit harder. And you kind of slip back down again.
From my vantage point on the ground, can I see what might have disturbed it, or is it just too well camouflaged?
Okay, make a recon roll, please.
Okay.
Okay.
That's something.
You can see it's a conduit, a plastic conduit. Now you're looking at it on the floor. It's cracked. And you hear a branch breaking nearby. Kind of just look left and right. You definitely heard a branch breaking.
Right,
I would assume you have a weapon with you.
Yes.
Maybe just your pistol, but I'd assume you have a weapon with you.
I will train it in the direction that I heard it and see if I can hear anything else or see through the branches before moving forward.
Okay, you listen, and you hear again another branch crack. You can't see anything And you see something kind of brown. And you see a horse just pushing through the trees. A saddle on its back, stirrups hanging down from the saddle, reins hanging down from its face as if they've just been left.
And it doesn't look like it's been hobbled or tied to anything at the moment. It's
wandering through the woods. And you kind of look and see the tracks, the footsteps of it. And yes, it's definitely cracked this conduit. Don't think the antenna's damaged, but something happened with it.
Okay.
You can see the horse kind of turns its head and looks at you. Starts moving away from you.
I'm going to try to approach the horse quietly. I don't want to startle it, but I do want to see if I could find anything in those saddlebags, if there are, or anything else that might indicate who the owner is or what nationality the rider might have been.
Okay.
It might just be a general empathy roll.
Well, I mean, are you going to try and sneak to it when you'd have to make a recon roll, or are you going to try and draw it to you with kind words and something in your pockets?
It's definitely a trained horse, so I'm going to try to, and it's used to humans, so sneaking up and startling it won't end well for me.
Make a persuasion skill roll then, please.
The little I might know from Dottie's stories of the farm.
And of course, if you've got the riding skill, or the riding talent rather,
yes,
you can of course click the button and add +1, but I don't think you do.
No, I do not. No. So it would definitely be. So what skill would you like me to make?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. All right. Oh,
wow.
Hey, that's surprising.
Yeah, good rolls now. The minor things. So yeah, you kind of hold your hand out and slowly draw the horse to you. Grab hold of the reins, pat its nose. And yeah, it comes and nuzzles up to you. It doesn't look starved or injured or anything. You can see there is a saddle on it. There is a holster for a weapon attached to the saddle, but no rifle in there. There's a pack. And you can see it's got a roll-up bedroll. Onto the back of it. But nothing else.
All right, well, I think I'll take the pack and the roll-up bedroll off of it.
Okay.
For now. And around the area, I could see from which direction the horse came.
Yeah, it came from the northeast.
And we know that there are farms all around the area.
You do, yes.
Okay.
Some of them are occupied, some of them aren't.
I think I'm going to lead the horse off if I could find a little bit of an area where it could graze a bit, and still remain hidden. I might tie it off to a tree because a horse is an asset, certainly. Mm-hmm. But I'm more concerned about who might have ridden the horse here.
Okay, yeah.
But it doesn't seem like there's any.
You're not seeing any evidence of anyone in the immediate vicinity, no. Correct.
And I think I'll busy myself, first of all, fixing the antenna. I'm assuming that where the conduit is cracked, there might be just a break in the wire that needs to be mended or reattached, retwisted together.
You're going to need to make a tech roll, please.
Okay. No. Okay, so I don't have anything that would.
No, none of your talents actually.
Okay, you checked
work
that for me. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You reach into the conduit. You can see there's some bits and bobs of rubbish that's being pushed into there. Just some bits and bobs. You clean it. You turn the conduit, cover it. Think that you have sorted out any problems that happened on it. And you can see just in the distance, you can see the horse. You can see it's within visual range of where you are now, but it's kind of tied to a tree in a little clearing to the northeast. You know where it is. You know where you've put it. You know where it is in relation to the area around you. This morning you did go out again and have a good look around the immediate vicinity.
Has he accidentally attached it to the UAZ?
No, he's not attached to the UAZ. No.
And the UAZ starts to roll west as the horse pulls it into the sunset.
Okay, so yeah, you do that. And you say every now and again you just kind of look over and just see the horse there. And occasionally the horse is looking in your direction. But a lot of the time it's just, mouth down, head down, grazing.
On the... in the pack, or especially in the blanket, are there any signs of it being military equipment? Is there, is it like a Russian blanket or a Russian sleeping bag, or is it just? No,
it looks civilian based.
Okay, and in the pack there is just nothing. It's just
nothing else. No. Nothing major. It's empty. As I said, just this like bedroll type thing. Just something used to someone to put on the ground to sleep on.
Okay, I think this is a little concerning because it means that there is somebody around our station, around the area. I'm going to head back down quickly and just inform Maria and Kat what I found. Let them know that the horse is there and see if they can identify it. Maybe they know, anybody in the area that has a horse. It's well fed. So I would have thought more military than...
Okay. But you kind of go down and I'll go check it out. Maria says, there's a few other farms around, but pretty much no one's got any horses. Most of the horses got taken into Conan and the militia use them.
Well, then we have militia snooping around the area now.
See, Kat, I'll go up and check it out.
Oh, I'm going
grabs the crossbow.
Yeah.
And starts climbing up.
I'm climbing after her.
Okay. You point out to her when you get to the top where the horse is, and you can still see it in the distance. She starts looking around.
We could wait here and see who gets attracted to the horse and set up an ambush. There.
That's what I was going to do. I think we should do that. You think you can get into one of the trees?
Based on my previous role? Yeah, but my weapon might be a little noisy for that. But yes, I will. I'll attempt a...
Okay. See, you kind of point out a spot where you can see it. It's a bit further away from the numbers station entrance. You make sure you doubly cover the entrance, add some more brush to it to give it a bit more concealability. And you kind of head up there, and she gets into position with a crossbow where she can aim and is in the bush, and she is concealing herself. You're going to have to make another mobility roll to climb up. She is just going to... Yes, okay. You managed to climb up. I want you now, please, to make a recon roll to hide, to conceal yourself.
Okay.
In the position you're in.
So I'm attempting to do it in an area where I can at least see where Kat is.
Okay, yeah.
So I can keep
yes.
keep eye contact with her. So I'm thinking maybe I didn't find a great place to conceal myself.
Okay, yeah, you can. She's probably, to your eyes, quite a bit exposed. Mm-hmm. She's not in the best position, but then again, she's not military like you. Maybe she's struggling a bit, but yeah, you can see that she's in a position.
And we didn't bring radios. We didn't have handheld radios from there that we could have.
No.
There you go.
The only handheld radio is with the team that went into Conan.
Okay.
And they were only to use it if absolutely necessary.
No, well, maybe Kat's plan is to actually be part of the bait.
That's
concealing herself very well, and I'm to
that's
take
probably
care
it.
of whoever comes by.
That's probably it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You wait.
I still can't let anything happen to her. Isaac will
kill you.
Be furious with me. Kill me. Yes.
Kill you. Yes. He's got a big sniper rifle. You spend a little bit of time in the trees. Meanwhile, we jump back to our erstwhile companions, the Conan expedition. Doddy, Isaac, and Grayson. You made a deal with one of the merchants in the town. You did. East German. And the rumours you heard was he was an ex-Stasi member, the East German Secret Service. How he ended up in Poland, you never really fully found out, but yeah. But you made a deal. 4 AK rifles. He's given you a note that you can present to the guards, allowing you to bring in assault rifles. They must be.
Man wasn't well either, was he?
He was coughing and wheezing a bit. Yes. But yeah, you also found out that he's got no fuel today, Sunday, but tomorrow he is having a delivery from the still. So you have agreed to bring the weapons for him to look at, and then you are going to negotiate a suitable price for some alcohol fuel for your vehicles, which you told him was for a tractor.
So we are farmers.
Because you are farmers. Well, the only one of you that looks like a farmer is Doddy.
Who is a farmer?
He is a farmer, yes. Yeah, he had to play the mute farmer in town, but yeah. So yeah, you have arranged to bring in the. I think you've got 4 UAZ, 4 assault rifles spare on the UAZ. All you've got to do is find the UAZ. You did hide it quite well, and bring them into town the next day. Now, we're going to say that you also did pick up papers for Kobe on the morning while you were getting papers. And you were heading back. You got out of the town through the checkpoint. You passed the tank again. And Doddy's erstwhile companion, Paws, is happily walking alongside you as you kind of head out of town. You pass the same guard on your way out.
Hey, guys, go and piss on that tank again.
He would have pissed on the tank, yeah. But he is now looking hungry as well. He's not eaten anything today. You had breakfast. Yeah. So yeah, you head out of town and you take a roundabout route back. You're heading back through the forest. Can you all make... Sorry, can Grayson, Isaac, and Doddy all make recon rolls? Or one of you make a recon roll and get +1, whichever way you want to do it.
No, I get some bonuses to recon rolls depending on what it's for.
Do you?
Yeah, I got scout, so I get a +1 modifier for spotting others and avoiding ambushes.
Okay, yeah, that's you can click the +1 on that.
Oh, okay.
I got to hope that, you make a good roll.
Oh, okay. Actually, Isaac's going to be... He's pretty concerned about the tank. He knows that something's changed in town recently.
Yeah, he's
distracted by that, I think. Thank God.
Nice.
Okay. Fortunately, one of you is aware of things. The man carrying up slightly behind Isaac and Doddy. Isaac and Doddy, maybe you're talking, you're out of town now. Doddy hasn't spoken for several hours because you had to keep yourself quiet. Maybe you're talking as you're walking and you're leading him through.
Yeah.
And Grayson, you're kind of maybe a couple of paces behind them, and you can see ahead of you, fairly close to where you think your ultimate destination is. There's a horse tied up, and there's a saddle on the horse, but no one on the horse rather. You kind of grab hold or tap Doddy and Isaac, and you are drawn to see this horse. What are you doing?
Looking at the horse.
Yeah, it's about maybe...
Working horse? Is it a riding horse?
It's definitely a riding horse. Definitely a riding horse.
And there's nobody around us just now?
No one around you. You're not too far away from your destination. So, maybe a bit concerned.
Yeah.
Jake, can you make a recon roll, please?
I've worked with horses, so
Ooh.
let me go and see what's what over there. Watch me, will you? If it is just a horse and it's escaped its owner, then I'll maybe be able to calm it down a wee bit.
Okay.
So I'm going to take up a position then so I can keep him covered with the rifle.
Yeah, you kind of...
Scanning the tree line,
Yeah. You make a recon round now looking for an ambush. More looking for an ambush.
Okay.
Kobe.
Worked so well last time. Ooh.
Kobe. You can see a figure coming through the woods. Something about it is familiar yet not. And Isaac, you can just see a bit further beyond where the horse is. There's a bush, and you can see there's a crossbow kind of stuck out of the bush, and you can see a figure in there.
Okay.
And it looks a little bit like Kat, but she's not done a very good job of concealing herself. And as you again look around where she is, your eyes are caught by the glinting of metal from a weapon in the tree not too far from her. And you can see, very badly concealed, Kobe there, covering the horse, looking beyond the horse. And as you stare in that direction, you see Kobe turns and your eyes meet as you look in the distance across an open wooded area, and you can see Doddy, Isaac, and Grayson hobbling in. You've picked up your weapons, by the way, guys. You would have done on the way back, yes.
Yeah.
And you can see Kat kind of looks up. She shouts in Polish to you, Isaac. You fucking idiot. What are you doing? Trying to sneak up on us.
Well, we were supposed to be coming back. You're the one up the fucking tree.
No, he's up the tree. She lifts out of the bush. And you can see
camouflaged myself to look like that.
See, she stands up. Did you see anyone who may have lost a horse?
No, not yet.
Kobe, you kind of climb out of the tree.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhat disappointed, but yet pleased at the same time with your companions have come back. And then the rumble of your belly and not eating kind of just disturbs you for a second. And the cramp in your leg from climbing up that tree and getting to a really silly position, kind of, yeah.
Rick, how's the ankle holding out?
I mean, it's still there.
It aches a bit.
All right.
You've done a bit of walking. It aches a bit. You could do with some rest.
Yeah, you want to
really
go in
like to sit down.
Yeah. This horse presents an opportunity, but also an issue. So we know a militia uses these horses, so it would go a long way to help us disguise ourselves as militias. But then again, it's here, and we don't have a rider. So what happened to its rider, and why was the rider in this area?
Right.
Well,
You guys didn't see anything coming back? Tracks, nothing?
No.
I think we may need to then...
we need to keep an eye on the horse. Isaac, give me the radio you took with you. I'll go and find another spot to hide in.
Do we know... Now that the radio is repaired, maybe we can listen on the frequencies that militia uses to see if they have a missing patrol, or if somebody is complaining of a lost horse.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'll stay with Kat.
No, you go down and debrief your men, Isaac. Tell them what goes on. If I take the radio, if I get into trouble, I will click. So you here, make sure Maria is on the radio, and it'll be fine.
Right.
And that way you can discuss what you found in the town and what is next.
Perhaps don't hide in that bush.
I'll find a better bush. You know me, I don't do bushes.
Yes. Whatever you do, don't beat around the bush.
No. She kind of picks the crossbow up, grabs the radio off you, and starts moving off, and she makes an attempt to conceal herself. Again, leaving you all to go down
Doddy's
into the number station.
been over to talk to the horse.
Okay, yeah. It seems well
He wants to
trained.
check. He's looking it over. He knows horses. He's checking it's not injured. He's checking it's rideable. He's checking the state of the tack on it. He's looking at the bit to make sure it's well fitted. Has it been well looked after?
Yeah,
Is it
mate.
in good condition?
Okay. We will get you to make a
Survival roll for farming, because it's a farming. Yeah,
well,
that's right.
you've also got the rider.
Off the farm.
You've got the rider, haven't you, as well?
I've got the rider. Yeah.
Nice.
What we'll do is we will make a. Let's make a survival check. Click the +1 for farming, and we'll assume that it's +1 for everything, and we'll do that.
Oh, the horse kicks me. No, it doesn't. I'm joking. No, it doesn't. That hurt.
You did roll a 1. You know, it could have kicked you. No, I mean you haven't seen a horse in several years. You've been away at war and away from the farm. But yeah, it looks okay. The tack and the saddle itself looks stable. You can't see any reason why any evidence that the rider was thrown or anything like that. But it looks okay, and the horse looks okay. It's well fed and needs no obvious wounds or injuries.
In
Well, Dottie,
Doddy's.
is it branded?
Oh, that's the question. Did you see anything like that on it? Has it got anything? No?
No branding on it you can see.
Oh, well, it's ours now. Finders keepers. I think this will do quite nicely if I'm riding along the side of a fuel tanker trying to get into it. Hey, that'll be right. Just like the movies.
Yeah, but keeping it hidden, I mean, it can't attract attention. We can't let this place be discovered because there's a domesticated horse around the area.
We could eat it.
Aye, we could. I can butcher it fine if that's required.
We could take it to Maria's farm. Hide it in one of the buildings there, says Cat.
Yeah.
Well,
it's an asset.
We better get it out of here sooner rather than later then, right? Is there anywhere it can be led where it's kind of in bushes and generally hidden and grass?
It's not really. I mean, there's a little. You're trying to keep it away from the entrance to the numbers station itself. So you've got it tied to a tree at the moment in like a little open area within the woods. But it was close enough to the number station where it could be watched and viewed, but far enough away that the entrance wouldn't be immediately visible.
Well, it's a liability here. We either set it loose or I ride it down and we'll put it in one of the barns and I'll come back through the water path.
Maybe Kat can take it down for us so we can all get together and decide what our next steps are going to be.
I can do it. I'll head to the farm, put it down.
Nope.
I will check the truck that's there as well. Make sure it is working, even just getting it some fuel. I'll check the mechanics are basically okay. So she grabs the horse from you. I'll be back, Isaac, don't worry. If I'm not back in an hour, you know something's gone wrong. And you can come and be the heroic rescuer again. Yes, exactly. He's silent, but very deadly. It's not.
Make sure
a lot of humor, though.
Mother-in-law doesn't snap at you.
I'm sure she won't. And she leads the horse away. Is there any sort of dark feelings or thoughts or
definitely
Isaac's? Yes.
Yeah.
He looks a little distracted. I guess is the word.
As soon as he says that, I just walk away.
Brooding Polish man, brooding man. So you guys all jump down, head down into the number station, climbing down. Rick, you go and sit down and put your feet up and take your boots off, and your foot is there. You can see that Maria, take the children and show them the radio. Come along, children, come. And she takes them in to the other room. She closes the door to the radio room, leaving you the general area. So you can actually chat away.
So what have you found out? I'm glad you guys are back safe and sound.
And we made a deal with the East German trader. He's going to take 4 assault rifles, those AK-47s or 74s? 74s. For fuel. But we have to collect it tomorrow.
How much fuel?
That's a really good question. I can't remember.
You didn't agree on it. He wanted to check the weapons were working before.
Yeah.
Oh.
That depends on...
You should see the place, Kobe. It's quite the fortress. They've even got nests on the roof. There aren't that many road vehicles going around. Didn't see a lot. We even saw a pickup truck getting pulled by a horse. I mean, still, they've got a tank. Would you believe? I mean,
Tank.
they got tanks and helicopters.
Helicopters?
Pickup truck. Aye, well, I will get to that. We'll get to it. There's a Videezy 469 I saw. We saw that. They've got this militia outside. They're all carrying assault rifles. I mean, you told us to, observe, and we did. We did. That's what we did.
Any sign of NATO prisoners in a work camp area? Anything like that?
There was someone hung
didn't
from
see
a
that area.
lamppost. We
did see that.
Bloody barbaric it was.
Hung from a lamppost.
Aye. Some young guy hung from a lamppost with a sign in Polish that said, like, I don't know, keep your hands to yourself or something like that anyway. I don't know what's going on down there. They've got a radio antenna on a 3-story building. Then this old Huey came in. You never guess. At this building. You never guess who was flying it, eh? Go on.
Who do we know that flies Hueys?
Yeah, who do we know? No remember, no?
That flies a Huey.
Who did we see that?
Casper was looking for parts for one, but he's no pilot.
Aye. Seems the fly old bastard's actually got it up in the air, eh? Flying it. Bloody
Himself?
hell.
Any signs of Boris?
Oh, that's a good question. Was he flying it?
Oh, he got into the back. There was a smallish individual who was smoking cigarettes that got into the pilot seat.
Potentially French cigarette.
Yeah, exactly.
He's about 5'3", 5'4", very short. Big.
Was he wearing a beret?
Hair. He wasn't wearing a beret, no. But he got into the pilot seat, yes. Snubbed the cigarette out or what was left of it and flicked it on the ground.
I want that stub of a cigarette.
What are you going
That desperate?
to smoke like?
It's been a few years since the...
Just putting puzzle pieces together at this point.
Anyway, so that.
What about Boris? Where was Casper's best friend Boris?
Oh, I think he was maybe getting delivered. Eh? There was a wee bit of a stretcher getting taken off the chopper, like.
He was being taken into the
town hall. Well, it's a nice building. They've done a good job fixing that up. Actually, most of the tune there's actually all right. It's not bad, like. They've done a good job. It's looking nice in the centre. Bloody helicopters flying in it, though. What else did we see? There's a river with boats on it. We saw boats going up and down.
Traders.
Aye.
Traders from nearby town.
You saw an armoured train carriage.
Oh, which we believe was the HQ for the Colonel, wasn't it? Is he the...
Aye.
Yes, Colonel Wozniak. As you think is where it was an armor. It's one of the old Soviet armored train carriages. They had them a lot in the Cold War times. Some of them, carried missiles, and some of them were used.
The river's, it's a state, like they're washing their clothes in it. There's buildings falling into it. The whole thing's it's a shambles. But they've got these boats, so they're doing all right, I suppose, and they're fishing as well. Place stank of fish, like. And then we met this merchant guy. Didn't like him much.
We hear
Oh, no.
former Stasi.
Aye. But that's the end that we're just talking about. Isaac was saying with a deal. Aye, they've got rations. Everybody's on rations. They got a day work, and I think that's what they do. They go to the mines and they work and get coal, and then the coal. It's a right wee industry they've got going. Didn't want to unsettle it, like, but But anyway, aye, then we came home, like, that's us. That was it. That was the reports. That was, aye. It's been a while since I've had to do a recon mission. I'm glad we never got in trouble. It's almost like somebody was watching over us.
So that antenna, on top of the three-story building, what range do you think it has? Who do you think they're in touch with, that antenna?
Well,
Go on, carry on.
I would bet they're using it to communicate with Casper. As far as who else, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. Would I have technical knowledge of range on that radio?
The size of the antenna would give it a decent range. It would require some power, so there was obviously some sort of power generator in the building as well.
Right.
But based on the range, yeah, you would probably figure at least 50 kilometers. Maybe a bit more. Depends on the state of it.
So we know Conan Tarek is not
No, Conan and Tarek is not that far apart.
not far at all.
That was one more thing. And this is the bit that I think is the most interesting. There's a fuel tank. A tanker getting delivered from the power station up the road into town. They're going to be driving a tanker full of fuel from one place to another. And I don't know how many guards they're going to have, but if they're shifting that much, that seems like a good opportunity. Anyway, we don't know much about the route, but there's only one road between the town and that place, so that should be easy.
Yeah, but where's the fuel being manufactured?
Well, at the power station.
They have a still.
At the power station, and the power station
North of the town. I think it's about 4 kilometers out of town.
and it produces that much that they actually are spending the fuel to bring it by tanker. So this is a massive amount of fuel.
If it's
certainly not a small amount.
Yeah, if it's a large stationary still, and Doddy would know this because he is a mechanical genius, allegedly. And he did chat with a guy in Tarek at one point. The still, I think it can do several hundred litres in a shift of fuel.
Wow.
As long as there is material to make the fuel and convert it. Yeah.
Well, I think number one, trading the weapons for fuel should give us enough to get going. I don't think we can do anything without it, but we need fuel. And they have fuel, and there are several sources. There's the still, and there's this tanker. Do you know how often the tanker comes to town with fuel?
I think it was once a week, right? Seems to be the way, yeah.
It was once a week.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, or 8 days from now.
Tomorrow it arrives in town. That's when we're supposed to go collect.
Yeah, you got told every week the fuel tanker comes from the still. Now, if it is an industrial stationary still, like I said, it's 500 litres every 8 hours that it can produce, as long as you can get enough organic material to convert the fuel.
Right.
But you did hear that there's farming out there as well, and ration books, so it seems that there's an organised structure around this town.
I relay that information.
Right. Well, I mean, we have a family to get out of here. By the way, did you hear about any information about our colonel friend?
No.
Not that I recall, no.
You saw him. You saw him chatting with Casper, which Isaac identified as the merchant of Tarek.
Oh, right.
And the colonel walked Casper to the helicopter when he left.
But the American, I think you're talking about the American.
Oh, so the Captain Gerard.
Gerard.
Yeah,
He said Colonel. No, you didn't
sorry,
see.
my apologies.
See
Yeah,
it well.
Gerard.
We know you have a problem talking about different ranks and saying the wrong ranks all the time. So it happens. Didn't cause a death this time though.
Ouch.
So yeah, we're okay there. So
Art
yes,
has daggers.
yes,
Daggers in the eyes.
you didn't see any evidence of Captain Gerard or anything along those lines. Didn't see him. Didn't hear anything about him. But then again, you only spoke to a few people. You mainly did a quiet observation.
All right. So look, I mean, we need the fuel. We're not sure how much we're going to get. That's a missed opportunity, guys, to have found out at least a bit about how much, but it'll give us something. We'll be able to operate around the area, maybe get more fuel with the fuel we have. We have a family to look out for, and information to pass on to friendly allies if we find any around the area. We've been also monitoring the radio broadcasts from around the area, so maybe there's some more information we can try to find. But our next step is to trade for fuel. Anybody else have any other ideas?
Get the horse, leave it on the road in front of where the truck's going. Truck slows down, knock the guys out, steal the tanker, fill up, and get the fuck out of here.
So you want to ambush the tanker?
Well, lucky if we get a thimbleful from that twerp in the tune, so I think we might have a wee bit better chance of getting out of here.
And we take the tanker, that means a lot of the people in the town will be going without fuel for heating. Or actually, what am I talking about?
That tanker will be going tomorrow morning. Bear that in mind as well.
There is no way that we could maintain taking a tanker. They have the radios, we know that. There's just no way we could steal a tanker.
Not without. It would be militarily ill-advised to go for tomorrow's. You would need to do some recon if you were going to do that.
If we're going to stay here the 8 days, then we can get whatever fuel we get tomorrow. We can use that for operating. The risk of staying here 8 days is great, maybe, but the reward, if the reward is filling up our UAZ and another truck and getting more containers for the road to perhaps use as trade or whatever, we'll have a better chance of getting out of here and taking the family out of here as well.
Well, do you want to know the fun part about that?
There's a fun part?
Aye, we're gonna have to find a farm.
There are plenty of farms.
Well, we have a farm. Are you suggesting that this hideout won't be safe to operate out of for the next 8 days? You want to operate out of a farm just to maintain the cover of us being farmers in the area for the next 8 days?
I think that if we've said that we need the fuel for being on a farm, do you not think that somebody whose business it is to know about all the produce in the area is going to want to know which one and how he's going to be able to line his pockets out of it? Didn't trust the man. Didn't trust him at all. He looked like he was on his last legs, eh? But deed walking. He's not to lose.
Okay. I think operating out of the farm, Dottie, is a great idea. We don't waste too much fuel on any tractors or anything, but we certainly make attempts at looking like we're repairing tractors, using fuel.
You
make a go of it.
Didn't see a tractor on the farm, but, you know.
Well, we have a truck on the farm.
There's a truck on the farm, yes.
Use.
Well,
and a horse. Now we have a horse, but the thing about the horse is that farms don't have horses. They were taken by the militia. That horse will still need to remain hidden.
well, maybe we could return it. Gain some favor.
That's an interesting idea. And we found this horse wandering
Where did we find it wandering?
near our farm.
Okay.
Just thought.
Hiding in plain sight. There you go.
Yeah. Or, like we said, Dottie uses it.
Ride along the side of the tanker, jump off, smash the guy in the head, and away we go.
You've been watching too many John Wayne movies.
Yeah.
I got the Roy Rogers books downstairs. Oh, wait. No.
No. When you get back home, Dottie. When you get back home.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And when Kobe steps out of earshot of the other two, I kind of stop him.
Okay, well, I would guess that Rick would, Grayson would be resting, and Doddie's really going to go about and try and find some food for paws. So, I guess that after a bit of a walk, everyone would want to rest a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. I just, Isaac always looks very serious.
I have to remember you've got a composting toilet in this place as well, so you have some privacy.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk in there.
You're not digging a hole in the woods.
I just kind of say I don't think it will be a good idea to take the children to the farm.
No. Well, I mean, we'll still need this place operational. I would think that Marie and the kids could stay here and stay safe and still get monitor the radio and try to get some intelligence while we're at the farm. I don't think this place should be abandoned at all.
No.
Not with an operating radio.
Good.
Okay. So, you guys all settle down for the night, for the day, taking an opportunity in peace to rest. Cat comes back within the hour and says that the farm was empty. She didn't see the mother-in-law at all anywhere. So she wasn't hanging around the farmyard itself, but the truck just needs fuel. Other than that, it looks like it just needs a bit of a clean-up, and it should run. But you all rest up. Kobe, can you make a medical aid roll to spend some of the shift tending to Grayson's foot and see if we can heal him a little bit more?
Oh,
okay. Nice. Okay, Rick. You can get your hit point back.
Okay.
And you only have 2 more days now rather than 4 days. because you've had a shift of medical aid and medical care.
Half of next season, okay.
Adjusted that down on your character sheet to 2 days.
Yep.
So you are actually feeling a little bit better. You're getting a little bit more mobility on your leg. Still hurts, but yeah, you get a bit of a rest. And anyone else that's injured can heal 1 point just from resting a shift.
Could Doddy go out with Cat to do some hunting?
Doddy can go out and do some hunting with cats. Yeah, you can spend a shift doing that. You've well rested. In fact, yeah, apart from Rick. So we have that Kobe spent a shift on the afternoon and early evening shift tending to Rick. Doddy and Thingamajig can go out hunting.
That UAZ.
That UAZ is freaking amazing,
You're bringing back roadkill. That's all roadkill.
I got a +1 to Hunter for survival rules for hunting to obtain food.
Yeah, you did. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So you go out and you go hunting. Hunting task 146. Of course, not being fully fluid with these rules. Okay.
I should get another +1 because I've got pies with me.
You got pies with you here. Okay. The hunting table. Okay, can you roll a D6, please? Just a single D6.
No, that isn't.
Okay. Okay, you managed to take a deer down.
Yes.
Can you roll 2d6, please? And we'll add 2 to it, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so you get 11 meals worth of wild food.
It's not shabby.
So
that's pretty good.
You can bring that back, and someone can make a cooking roll. Just
we did have 11.
Too bad. Are you saying that none of you are cooks? Don't worry, Kat will do it. She'll do the cooking, unless you want to do the cooking.
She's like MVP in this group.
What is cooking under?
Okay, cooking.
Be like survival, right?
Yeah, it's basically roll survival. No matter if you succeed or not, me. Your rations of meat, fish, or wild food are turned into domestic food rations. However, if you fail, anyone who eats the food must make a stamina roll to resist food poisoning. This could be a hidden roll made by the referee.
Holy shit! Well,
yeah, you should make it hidden. You should make it hidden.
Definitely.
You should. So, yeah.
Rick's got no survival, so I'm not cooking.
Okay, right. Anyone else want to do the cooking?
Well, not with the way I roll, but if Kat is... I think Kat probably would.
Well, Kobe's got survival. Hang on.
I do. We could.
He just doesn't want to take that risk.
You know what? I will go ahead and cook, and I will just because Kat's probably busy with other stuff.
I'll tell you what. Doddy has got survival as well. So if Doddy helps you in the kitchen, I'll let you have a +1.
Butcher the deer.
So you're actually going to confirm the 11 lots of wild food into domestic rations. So
here goes nothing.
Make your survival roll.
Be a great help, or it'll be too many cooks.
Nice, you succeed. So what I will do is we'll add the 11 domestic food onto the UAZ 469, seeing as it was rolling these massive rolls anyway.
Yeah.
And then we can take it off from there.
And it's a good thing too, because we have extra mouths to feed now.
You do. Okay, so yeah, you got 11 units of domestic food, and yes, you are going to have to start using those. I'm going to take the 4 AK-74s off of the vehicle as well, because you're going to go into town tomorrow and take them. So you go out, spend some time hunting. Very successfully managed to bag a deer in the wilds. The smell of cooked venison is quite pleasant as you sleep and you rest. And you are up fairly early the next morning. Sleep, well, it was okay. There are only 4 bunk beds, so a lot of you had to make do with either on the couch that's in one of the rooms or rolling onto the floor and sleeping on the floor. At least it's fairly pleasant. Nice. Yeah, the weather's fairly good. And yeah, you all rest. And again, Grayson, your leg is a lot better the next morning. You're up fairly early. 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, fairly early. Now, do any of you have personal food and water? Water, you'll be fine. So we ignore water because we've got plenty of water here. So if you've got, tell me who's got food and they use their own food.
Yeah, I can do that.
So Isaac, anyone else got any food?
I have 4 rations still.
So Kobe will use his food. Grayson got any food of his own?
Yeah, I do.
Right, so knock off a food there. Doddy hasn't got it, so we've got Doddy, Kat's got her own, so it's Doddy, Maria. So out of those 11 you got yesterday, 4 are going to get used today.
We're going to knock off a food and a water, right?
The water is okay because there is a store of water
right. We've
here,
got a reservoir.
And there's some rain catchment and water catchment from the stream. So water at the moment, while you're at the number station, you are not going to need to worry about. Food, yes, you will. So I'll knock the little bit of, what did I say, 4? Yeah, 2 kids, Maria and Doddy. So you are down a little bit now on the food you caught yesterday, but better than having none. Because if Kobe had used his on everyone else, you'd have no food now. So you're down 7 units of food. So you are going to need to do a bit more hunting as you go on. But the others can go out. Kat can go out and do some hunting maybe while you're off, or Maria can, and Kat can stay and watch the children.
Could we take bits from that and use it potentially in trade as well, like the hide? Is there any way we could have
no, but basically you're focusing on the getting the food from it. So yeah, it's purely, if you find any sort of other place, like you could go to the farm and you could go and make a scavenging roll and see what you can find at the farm, but you have to spend some time doing that. So if you didn't want to go in to town to do the exchange till the afternoon, the morning you could again go out hunting, you could go out foraging, you could go out scrounging at the farmyard. Might be a worthwhile thing to do a bit of scrounging. Maybe Isaac would want to do that because he knows the farm.
Hold on, I'm thinking we could still hold off on that and get to town. Do we know around what time the tanker comes to town?
He would have told you it was morning. He's the first drop off in the morning. So
I think we would want to be there first thing in the morning to observe. Where does the tanker come from? What gate does it come from? Who's riding in it? I mean, we have to be in town anyways to give these things. We may as well get the information in case anything goes wrong. At least we'll know what happens to the tanker when it gets here.
Okay. So you guys are going to be heading into town first thing in the morning. Awesome.
Are we all going?
You have ID for the 4 of you. Well, 3 of you plus Isaac, you had your own ID anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, you can all go in. It might be nice for Kobe to see it as well.
Yeah.
And the exercise is going to be good for Grayson's ankle, as long as he doesn't have to run, doesn't trip over or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if good's the right word.
Wondering if it
Okay.
was
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
a good idea having a bunch of non-Polish speakers heading into town.
Well, that is
Right.
always going to be the risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any position we could possibly get to where we could be outside of town but close enough to assist if need be?
No.
And
Once you get past the Catholic Church, you get into the inner part of the town, and there is a barricade area. So you went through the gates where the tank was, and you would have seen that left and right of that position, streets have been blocked off, walls or fences have been put up, palisades have been put outside as well to stop people getting into those areas. They're controlling the people going in and out to the checkpoints, which gives them the ability to control the people going in and out of the town. Makes it easier for them to maintain information. So yeah,
that reminds me. I'd want to say to Kobe as well that the tank is a new thing. Something's changed in town. They're obviously expecting some kind of trouble. To have that, even if it doesn't work properly, at the gate.
But the tank is not mobile.
The tank is not mobile. At least it wasn't when we passed through the barricade. Yes.
They were doing some work on it.
Was it Russian? Was it Polish?
It's Russian. Isn't that? I believe it was
It was a
tank.
It was a T-72. It was a real tank, but the Russian army used them. The Polish army used them.
Right.
So,
not the one we fired at.
no, not the little tank. No, it was a big tank, a
It was
proper
a big
tank.
tank, not a baby tank.
Yeah.
It was actually proper NBT rather than a BMP 2 or 3, I think it was BMP 2 that you fought the little tank.
And the crew, they operate professionally, or are they also militia?
They're militia.
They're militia, but they seem to know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Now, what you know is the militia is made up of a selection of civilians that have been conscripted into the militia, but Wozniak was a professional Polish soldier. There will be other professional Polish soldiers, you would imagine.
It's interesting. They can't be hoping to hold off the Russians if the Russians are coming through. That can't be what this is about. And I'm speaking to Isaac when I'm saying this.
You know, Isaac, that the colonel is very pro-communist.
Yeah.
He didn't like the.
He wouldn't be. So he wouldn't be fighting off the Russians.
No.
He'd be expecting something else. Although
He'd be welcoming them.
he didn't. I don't know if the colonel and this merchant of Turek, I don't know if they are that friendly. There seemed to be, when the helicopter left, they were tracking it with the guns that they had on the roof.
Well, I'm wondering if Casper, the merchant of Turek, has kind of informed them about us, which might be why they've got the enhanced defenses as well, in addition to worrying about Casper. Looks like they're hunkering down for some kind of fight.
You must have made quite an impression on that fella.
Well, they
you
were delivering somebody that we were responsible for.
Yeah, it's true.
I would be pretty hard pressed not to tell the story If he sees us in that town, by the way, we are in a lot of trouble.
I think it's easy enough for us to know if he's there. The question is, did he inform the why do I forget the head of the town? Did he inform him about us and give him some descriptions? Obviously, there's no pictures or anything, so it's not perfect, but he might be aware of us.
Well, at this point, our biggest problem is if Boris is recovered well enough to be up and around and walking, and so happens to see us in town while he's going for a stroll outside of the hospital.
I mean, I feel like the way he was taken in there, he probably won't be, but it also depends upon when we make our move.
Yeah, the figure you saw was face down on the stretcher.
That's an odd way to transport somebody, so...
You shot him in the back, remember? Or someone shot him in the back.
Was it the back? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it went into his back.
It was 100% Jake who shot him in the back.
No. I was just killing air.
I thought it was Grayson. I thought it was Grayson. I thought it was Grayson.
It was Rick.
I think that's right.
It was absolutely Rick.
Yes, I'm fairly certain it was Rick.
It absolutely was.
Because Doddy got clubbed by the Polish family. Rick was in Overwatch.
Just doing my job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Kobe was up near the vehicle because it was Boris was going to go and walk in and cause some problems, it seems.
And then there was a sniper at my back too. So
there was the sniper, yes. And you found some cigarettes, didn't you? Some cigarette butts in a case. Okay.
So now do we know if the sniper was 5'3" or not? But we don't, and that's just another mystery.
Well, if you see him again, you have to ask him.
I guess, yes.
Just ask him for a cigarette. And if he gives you a gitan.
Yes. We must shoot, I don't know what's going on. It could be something like this or something like that. I do not know. Anyway.
It still is interesting that Casper didn't seem quite fond of the Russians when we were there and the Russians coming to take over. I mean, more so because they would interrupt his business more than anything else. But what's interesting me now is what has changed that is causing them to be concerned and have the tank. It cannot be us. There's no way we could inspire such a reaction.
It does seem on there. It's just 3 of you.
We didn't have a tank.
We started off with 5, though.
Anyway, are you heading into town?
I think so, but I think, the disguises will include caps, hoodies.
Fake beards.
Fake beards.
Those mustaches that you get in Christmas crackers.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And a smattering of Polish words that Isaac will be teaching us.
Some Isaac did give everyone some phrases. He will do the same, I'm sure, with you.
Yeah.
Certain phrases, but just play dumb mute farmers.
Yep.
You get some clothes.
A lot of dumb mute farmers.
Yeah. You get some
on this farm.
You get some clothes. Kobe, civilian clothes. Doddy looks like a proper farmer. He actually looks a perfect piece. Actually, looks perfectly in check. You quite happily say he's a perfect farmer. Yeah.
The hay out of the teeth is just a perfect
just kind of works. So, are you again dropping your weapons off, your personal weapons off at that little hut? Or are you leaving them here?
The big guns, I think.
We can probably leave them here.
Yeah.
But you can take.
We are going into town with weapons, anyways.
You are going into town, but they have to be wrapped. So
100%.
Yeah. So you can wrap those in, and you do have an introduction from Felix.
Yes, we have a letter.
Allowing you to bypass the guards with the weapons. Isaac can take his sniper rifle with him because he does do some hunting. So yeah, you head to town.
Okay.
So you leave Kat, Maria, and the children. And there were a few heated conversations between Maria and the two children in Polish this morning. There's definitely a few issues going on with that family. But you make the journey in.
And as we're walking, Isaac, what was that about? Kids, are they going to be trouble?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Basically, the discussions was your father's gone. Nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry he died. It wasn't my fault. Your grandmother, she didn't want to come with us, no matter what any of us could have said. She's probably gone at the farm or has gone into town. You know what she's like? That sort of thing. But mama, I hate you. These are not my fathers. These men, they are trouble. Americans, they're the enemy. No, they're not the enemy.
Man, even her kids hate Americans? She's American. I know.
Remember,
I know.
Yeah.
You played the part well.
So yeah, that's basically there's definitely disagreement between the son, especially over the loss of his father and the death of his father. You also heard that Michael wasn't my father, and that's the guy that died as well, the friend that died, the other CIA agent, it seems.
And maybe Isaac will break that down as they don't like you.
Gossip, they don't like Americans, Fed up,
That's fine.
Father issues, they're out of their home, they're living in a bunker underground, it's not normal, it's a shitty world, and they're struggling to deal with it.
Isaac, all I have to say is Maria better figure out a way, if we're going to be traveling with them in 8 days from now, to get them to freedom, to learn not to hate us in the open.
Should be fun.
That's harsh.
Yeah, well.
What,
Look,
you gonna shoot him?
Harsh as it is, we're responsible for them, but I don't want to be going by some patrol somewhere.
Hearing this conversation, so this is not for Grayson.
Oh, I thought that was you listening in. Okay.
No.
No, then I won't continue with the RP on that then.
Okay. You head into town. Again, you meet up with people coming in and out of town. You see a lot of workers going outside of the town area as you come up to the bunker area and the entrance area. You see the single gate and the vehicle gate open. You can see the T-72 tank as you walk in. You pass the guards, showing your identification and showing the letter that you've got, allowing you or giving instructions then to let you pass. They open up the wrapping and just check the weapons are there, count them, close it up, and you head in. As you pass the T-72 tank, you can see the tracks are on. The engine is running, but it's not moving. A bit of ghastly, horrible smoke coming out of the back of it, and you can smell the fumes that this tank has been converted to run on alcohol. And the engine's struggling a bit with that. A more precise piece of engineering is struggling. But you also...
I'll actually ask then as we go through. I'll just make the comment, he managed to get it fixed then.
The engine's working, yes. Piece of shit, piece of junk. Let's see one of them kicks it. I hate this stinking thing. Smoke from the engine comes into the crew compartment. It's not pleasant. Not safe, I tell them. No. What do I get? I get told to fuck off and shut up. But you also notice, as you have this casual conversation and pass them, there is, he says, getting his notes, there is a parked behind it, an OTR 64, a Polish 8-wheeled armoured personnel carrier.
Like that.
It's parked right behind it. You can also see there is a truck. The truck is packed with coal in the back. Tarpaulin covering most of it, but the corner is there, and you can see coal. And you can see that there's a couple of militiamen that are checking the weapons on the OT-64, making sure they're operational. You can see one is stripped down to his waist, and he's working on the machine gun on the top of it, cleaning it, preparing it. So some of these militia definitely seem to know what they're doing with weapons. They are cleaning and breaking down the weapon with skill, not necessarily speed, but they've been instructed on how to maintain these weapons. And yeah, you kind of wander through town, and again, it's fairly pleasant inside. There's not a lot of damage, and any damage has been repaired. You see people walking around. You see in some of the areas where buildings have been destroyed, rubble has been cleared, and they have little town gardens where they were, and they are growing food, crops, small plots, tomatoes, strawberries, that sort of thing. From some of the larger areas, you can see potatoes. And yeah, it looks like they are working as a collective community to survive. There doesn't seem to be any issue with the militia. A lot of friendly banter between militias and civilians. You see some queues outside some of the shops, and you see people holding ration books. You see a militiaman walking around, patrolling. But, you know, they're not seeming to be harshly looking at anyone. They're just casually just making sure, and it looks like they're maintaining some element of law and order. You kind of have a wander around as you head, doing again like yesterday, a wide berth as you head into town, and you head across the river. You smell the fish, and you again see fishing boats on the side, parked up on the quays, and you can see them unloading fish. You can see the smell of burning coal, as a lot of these are using coal to actually fuel them. And again, the smell of fish is, yeah, as it is. But there seems to be a bit of fishing going on in the river, which shows there's a little bit of life in there. Yeah, even if some of the fish do come out with two heads, but that's another story.
That's already cooked.
3 eyes.
And you pass and show Kobe past the armoured train carriage, and it's there. You also, as you look west down the line, you can see there is a steam engine that is on one of the sidings, and you can see it's been partially taken apart, and you can see there are people working on it, stripping parts out. Definitely half a dozen people working on it. You kind of go past the train and where the train yard is.
Is that on a? So that's on a track.
It's on a track, yeah. It's on one of the sidings. It's a double main line in this area where you are, and on the west there's some sidings. There's an engine shed, and on one of the sidings there is a steam engine that's being worked on. None of you are experts on steam engines, but
No.
Yeah, they're working on something. It's not going.
It's intending to leave or go anywhere.
Well, maybe it's used for transporting of goods.
Maybe.
Yeah, or bringing goods from other places. But
Isaac, that the train goes west, heads into West Poland and south and north. The track going east. You did notice that some of the railway track on that side, on the east side, is not there or damaged. You would guess that maybe some of the track had been lifted and used elsewhere. But the easterly would have taken them up towards the Warsaw area, so west and north. But a lot of the track that side has been lifted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it looks like they're maybe working track one way rather than another.
Yeah.
The River Vorta going east is much thinner and not used for much traffic because it's not deep enough or wide enough. But going west, it's a main river that eventually gets to the sea up into the German border. So yeah, there is, and that seems to be the way that a lot of the boat traffic is. And again, as you continue walking around, staying towards the north of the town, you go through the square and you show Kobe the open grass area where the helicopter landed. There's no helicopter there. You see the town hall with 2 militia guards stood outside a Polish flag, and you see the antenna for the radio. You also see on the right, you see the lamppost. And yes, there is a body still hanging, the same body still hanging there. A bit worse for wear. It looks like the birds have been pecking at it. So it looks pretty gruesome. And you do see again the sign there, and it was the sign was executed for stealing medical supplies. You quickly go past the building where you saw the stretchered man being taken into.
Point that out to Kobe because he might be interested in that.
But yeah, you see and actually you look at it, you do see there is a medical centre cross on a sign. So it looks like it is either the town's clinic or town's hospital. But as you're kind of pondering what you see, you hear an engine, and you see a small, looks like a Polish military truck, but the back has been converted and it's got a fuel bowser on it. You can see a driver, and you can see one armed guard alongside him. And following the fuel bowser is a pickup truck, and there has been a heavy machine gun mounted in the flatbed behind it. You can see again driver, a guard alongside the driver, and there is a militiaman hanging onto this large heavy machine gun that is mounted onto it, and that seems to be following it. You do see that there is a fair amount of, especially on the pickup truck more so, a lot of evidence of coal dust. So would indicate that maybe it goes up to the coal fields, which are a little bit beyond the actual the power station that they're working on, the surface coal fields. But yeah, definitely a little bit of coal dust on that. So would indicate that maybe this pickup truck does do a lot of miles in and around the area patrolling. You haven't seen many other vehicles here, a few horse and carts. You do see the flatbed truck that's had its cab cut off and it's being drawn by a horse. And you can see people wandering around, and generally people don't seem unhappy. There doesn't seem to be a level of oppression that maybe you'd expect, but it could be that, you know, the militia provides some semblance of protection. You know, a town like this seems to have resources. Those resources will be valued and coveted by others. And there are bandits and marauders that roam the ruins and wrecks of Poland. So the militia do give a sense of maybe security. But you kind of turn and head back towards the centre of town. You see the fuel bowser and the pickup truck go fairly slowly through the main area because there are horses and animals and people walking along. There's not the traffic that once was in a town such as Conan, where people would stay on the pavements.
Doddy's used to seeing vehicles like that around farms. He worked as an agricultural engineer. What would he estimate the volume of the Bowser to be?
You'd probably say maybe 2,000 litres if it's full.
Cool.
Based on the size of it.
They'll probably not be wasting... Well, I'm sorry, I'm not talking.
You are away from people, so yeah, there will be times when you could speak to each other. You just have to be careful.
Do we know what they'd be using the fuel for, actually, here in town?
In town would be used to power generators to generate electricity. It'll be used to fuel vehicles, but mainly it'll be used to generate electricity.
Yeah.
So
there'll be a number of like little generators scattered around the town.
Yeah, lighting, generators. The large antenna, the radio there, will require a substantial amount of fuel to keep it powered.
I mean, it looks like even the hospital, everything here, and they.
Yep. Hospital.
Part of the reason why people are probably so happy here is because they're being given everything that they need to survive. This is literally the perfect example of restarting and doing it right. I'm quite impressed. I'm very. This gives hope for the future.
But you do see that people are doing work. It seems to be a collective. They're not working and farming for themselves. There's a collectiveness. Food is picked up. The fish on the docks is unloaded, loaded onto trucks, and transported away. And you've seen
also the pesky issue of UN prisoners being used to mine. You know, like slaves. So yeah, I'm not so impressed.
That's what we heard. Is it true? Is it rumor? Do we know if it's true or not? We haven't seen. You
would have to head north and maybe do a recon out to the power station and a recon out to the coalfield. That could be a task to do next season. We'll see. So you head back into the center of town.
The truck that's bringing the fuel, do we see the area where it unloads the fuel into?
Okay, you'll see it stop and people bring out jerry cans.
Okay.
And they basically put a jerry can and start filling up the jerry cans.
Okay.
And that's the sort of limit of what you've seen.
So it's basically just running hoses down from a couple of maybe entrances on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No mechanism then for
There will be a fuel power. There will be a pump on it.
Okay.
There will be some sort of pumping mechanism on that. That will be powered by the vehicle itself. As you follow it into town, and it gets ahead of you, but you see it doing several stops. It gets to the centre where there's a fair few more shops, and you guys point out Fritz's little mercantile store. And you can see that for Fritz, it parks outside, and next to the shop there is a garage door and a cart is kind of pulled out with, again, a fairly large container on it. And you can see they start filling up the container in there. He seems to get quite a bit more than what the basic civilians get on their rations. But he is a trader, so he, like he's doing with you, is trading equipment and materials and using what he's got. So it seems that he uses fuel to do certain trades. So if people need maybe a little bit more than their rations allow, if they have rations for fuel, they can go to him and maybe he can supply them. But you see them unloading, and you see him outside, and again you see him cough as he goes. There's a few other workers there with him.
And while we have this quiet moment, Isaac, is there any way you can find out if he at one point worked in the mines until he got sick? Like maybe he's a trader now because, you know, he was a laborer before and got too sick to work.
You
we may be able to get some information about the mines, and if there are, you know, indeed, how is it, who labors there and under what conditions?
What I've done is I've put a picture of Fritz on the landing page. So you can see him there. He is balding, greyish beard. He's not young. He's fairly old. Glasses. And again, yeah, every now and again he is coughing quite a bit. He notices you guys walking down the street towards him. You stop and have that brief little interlude, then keep walking, and he smiles at you and motions you over. And you're able to walk past. And probably the most disturbing thing is that the guy operating the fuel bowser has a lit cigarette when he's smoking.
Sure, why not?
Then you kind of think that, yeah, maybe not the best thing, but it's
Somebody should put a sign.
Yeah, no smoking. Actually, there is a sign on there, and exactly, you do see no smoking, explosive fuel, you know, that sort of thing. But, you know, he seems to be not caring about it, and the others don't seem to be caring. It's almost like, and the way he stands, to the military members here, he is probably more of a recently recruited civilian rather than a highly trained a military man. That's the impression you got. And at that point, you see a woman walking across the street. You guys saw her the day before. She was in Fritz's shop yesterday, and she was quite mouthing off about her son who's in the militia and is going on a journey soon. And she is coming racing across to the individual holding the cigarette and holding the fuel pump. And he kind of looks and he goes, and he says in Polish, "Shit." And he kind of quickly just drops the cigarette and stamps on it. And you can see she comes, "I told you, you do not smoke near that. What are you doing? You're going to get yourself killed. Mama, you should not come out here, Mama." And she starts lambasting him and shouting at him as, see Fritz kind of, come in. Good to see you.
Yeah. We're going to go in. I'll unfold the bit of paper that he gave us the day before.
Yes, I remember. You have a new friend. He kind of turns to you, Kobe, and says something in Polish. For you, Isaac, he says, "Good morning. Welcome to my humble abode.
Yeah.
I hope you're well today."
I think I just give him a nod.
Okay.
Laborers.
Yes, we have a few of them here. Please come in. These look very good quality. You scrounge these while out hunting, yes? What about their previous owners? Then it's going to come back and try and claim them, are they? He smiles. Looking at you, Isaac.
Yeah. I just shrug.
Right. You wanted fuel.
Well, tell us how much first. How much do we get for these?
So he pulls out a notepad, just opens it up, and he's got pulls out a little pencil, just starts making a few notes in the book. 100 litres of alcohol fuel.
How much does the UAZ hold?
Um,
I'm asking you that, and I could probably look it up myself.
You could probably look it up yourself by clicking on the UAZ.
I daren't do that because then I'll be rolling the UAZ forevermore.
The fuel capacity of the UAZ is 75 litres.
Okay, that's a full tank.
It's got 24 litres in it at the moment.
Ooh.
And we still have the truck. This is not me talking there, but...
You sure you don't want to say Lieutenant or Captain?
100 litres. I mean, I don't know.
Or do I want to say, "That's all, Captain Gerard"? I thought you would get more.
You've not done a lot of trading for fuel for... It seems... maybe a little bit less. I mean, you could try and make a persuasion roll.
Oh, you know what?
And try and persuade him.
I'm sure as hell gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, persuasion's probably not really. I don't know if that would be more.
But you're the only one. Well, why have we got Lieutenant Parker's image on the screen? That's kind of a bit freaky. Ah!
Bless him.
He's dead. He's dead, Jim.
He's dead.
The ghost comes back.
Just a reminder of.
But you're the only one that speaks Polish.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if, but I'm just saying I'm not sure if persuasion would be the thing or whether it'd be more. You're going to do this.
Oh no, it's persuasion. If you want to do persuasion.
No, I was thinking more.
You could either accept the 100 litres, or you can try and barter with him.
Okay. Well, I mean, persuasion. Seeing as persuasion is obviously Isaac's speciality.
Yes, maybe. Along with torture.
Well, I was wondering if maybe I could torture him for some more fuel.
You could do, yeah. I mean, it's a bit kinky, and this time of on a Monday morning, but
well, I mean, it's it's probably not the first thing it's not something you'd lead with, I guess.
Can't hurt to try, though.
Won't you? Why do you think?
Do you want me to pull your fingernails from your fingers?
Yeah.
Give me more fuel.
Maybe if this is persuasion, 100's not enough.
How much do you want?
125.
Okay, make a persuasion roll.
I'm sorry, guys. I really suck at this.
You get +1 if you've got the trader.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I'll take it.
Boom.
Oh.
Oh.
He's just out-persuaded me.
I will give you 120 liters, no more. That is all I can do. You drive a hard bargain. Yes.
Take it. What about the ammunition for them?
That is part and parcel of the deal.
Is it?
So do you have the facility to carry 120 liters of fuel?
Do you deliver?
he smiles. You see, us Germans, we do have a sense of humor. I appreciate that. But I do not deliver, no. You have some container jerry cans?
Well, I seem to recall that you said you were going to supply them.
Okay, make another persuasion roll.
Oh, don't make me do that.
I'm afraid, yes. You've got to make another persuasion roll.
That would be a no. However, my last one was so good.
Push it.
Push it real good.
Alas, I do not supply them. But you could, of course, buy them from me. Or rent them. I could rent them to you.
You want to rent a jerry can?
Well, I will provide you with jerry cans to take the fuel, and you bring the jerry cans back, and the item you leave as collateral, we will return to you. He smiles. After all, I'm sure your lovely rifle there would be adequate collateral.
I don't know, you wouldn't sell it before I came back with the jerry cans.
Trust me, I require the fuel cans more than I require your weapon. I have a few weapons available to sell for the right price.
Would you be willing to trade fuel?
Yeah, all right. I unsling the gun. I take the magazine out, stick that in my pocket.
Okay. Kind of picks it up, looks at it. Well maintained. It must have been in the police before the war. You see, we find out a few extra things about you, Isaac.
How does he know my name?
Because he looked at your identification when you showed it to him yesterday.
Did I show it? Oh, okay.
Yes, you did.
I'll let him off then.
You did show him your identification. He needed your identification yesterday. He kind of takes it. Just give me a minute, and I'll have someone bring out the fuel cans. And a few minutes later, 6 fuel cans, 6 jerry cans are brought out with 20 litres of fuel in them. Mm-hmm. And they're plonked down there, these metal,
I had to do
metal
the
fuel tanks.
for a while.
It's been a long day. It's a Saturday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see them there. They are quite full, 20 litres in each.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure though, if there's a marking on the side of the jerry can to say how, normally that'd be like how much they hold, right?
Yeah, they hold, they're 20 litre cans.
And they're full.
They are full, yes. You open one up and yes, you can smell it's alcohol fuel. No drinking of it, though. It is better in your engines. A tractor, you said you were... It's interesting. Former policeman learns to drive a tractor, or is one of your friends a tractor driver? He kind of looks over everyone. Perhaps you. And this Fritz says something to you, Doddy, in Polish.
Yeah, I've already, when I see the cans getting brought in, I'm already walking over to them to pick them up.
Okay.
So I pick, one in each hand, I guess.
Yeah.
And I hear him kind of talk, and I'm grunting as I lift them.
Yeah.
I just go,
and as a distraction, obviously he's trying to, as he says that to Dottie, I say, well, what about former Stasi being trader?
We all have a past.
Indeed.
I was just trying to get out of Germany. I ended up in Poland. I didn't get to my final destination, but perhaps in the future I will get to Moscow. Who knows? But I am glad that you have come back today. That is good. If it had been any other day, you might not have had the fuel. We might not have had the fuel here. Unfortunately, over the next week, we are going to be limited on our fuel availability, so it is probably good that you came today.
Well, is this something we should be aware of? I mean, we're going to need more, obviously.
Oh, you're going to need... no, there's a shipment of fuel and coal going out on Friday.
That was the convoy at the gate.
I do not know. All I know is there's a convoy going out to Turek on Friday.
Turek?
Yeah, it's a small piss creek town in a shit state east of here.
I wasn't aware that we were...
Trading?
Not with the towns.
Business is business, my friend. They have things we need. We have things they need. That is trading.
Why does a shitty town like Turek have to trade with Conan?
Make a persuasion roll, please.
Oh, I'll take it.
The individual that runs the town, he has a tank that the colonel wants.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, the gentleman would not sell his helicopter. The colonel was quite taken with that. And of course would be an absolute bitch to fuel up, seeing as it needs aviation gasoline to fly, not this shit that runs on everything else. So it seems that in Turek they have a stock and supply of aviation fuel.
Wow.
It seems that, yes, the gentleman in Turek, he has a warehouse full of military surplus vehicles.
Small town like that?
Casper is a sly old Polish dog. He has his fingers in many pies.
Well...
But that is the colonel's business, not mine. I just make my little bit of profit and help with the town. Thank you. The weapons will go straight to the militia and be used to defend this fine place. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do you come across any more, or any weapons in your hunting trips?
Yeah, I don't think I'll get that lucky again.
Well, perhaps luck will follow you again, and you will get something. If you do, I will be interested. And the colonel will reward me well for providing weapons to fight his enemies.
I wasn't aware he had any.
Guess you've just given him weapons and they're going to use to defend anything. Well, there's always people that covet what we have here. Unfortunately, things hopefully will be sorted very, very soon.
Are we going to regret not having shaved the pins just a bit?
Maybe. Maybe. But anyway, you have your fuel. I have my business to get on with. If you come across any other weapons, please come and see me. We can make a good arrangement. In fact, maybe you'll find it more beneficial to you to go out scavenging for weapons rather than hunting for deer. This is the second day I've not seen you bring any deer in. You should be careful. The guards may get suspicious of you.
Well, I'm not going to be able to bring any deer in without that, am I?
Well, where are you taking the fuel? Is it far you have to go? I take it is outside of town.
Yeah. Farm.
One of the farms. Right. You should be able to get the fuel back. Unless, of course, you didn't bring a wagon to transport it on. Otherwise, it might be a bit of a walk back. But anyway, I have business to do. Good day. Pleasure doing business with you. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Nod. As they grab the cans and start walking off with them.
Is Grayson grabbing a can or two?
Is he able to?
I mean, yeah, he'd probably carry one.
Yeah,
but,
I'll carry one.
Yeah.
But I grab the other.
Okay.
I definitely want to grab two because I want to equalize the weight. I hate dragging one. Like,
okay, yeah,
they're heavy.
Yeah, you drag the cans out, and again head out of town. It's a bit more tiring as you head out of Conan, but there is a sense that you've achieved something here. You've got fuel.
Quite a lot.
Maybe more than you expected to get. And as you head back out of town, past the tank, the truck, and the armoured personnel carrier, pass through the gates, it's probably into the afternoon, lunchtime, early afternoon, as you travel back. Are you taking the fuel back to the number station to fill up the UAZ first and then making a trip out to the farm? Because that is where you're staying at the moment.
Well, that'll be up to Kobe, I guess.
Doddy would have been saying up at one point on the way up, he'd just be like, does it make sense to go back to that farm? We got run down. That woman, she was getting held hostage there because of who she is. Maybe we need to find somewhere else, eh? Don't you want the Russians coming back for a second piece?
With this much fuel, we can get some distance.
Well, we certainly
could. All of the petty politics that are going on around here.
We have the truck, but remember, we also have a horse. So wherever we're going, we got to get the truck. I mean, I don't mind filling up that truck. I think we should probably fill up the UAZ. That's our main mode of transportation. But we need the truck. The truck is going to be what allows us to bring the family. The question is, if we're going to go to another farm, we have to find one that's abandoned, unless Isaac knows which farms around the area are abandoned. Preferably find one with a broken down tractor to work on, and a place to hide a horse.
Why are we going to a farm? Like, we've got 120 liters of fuel. Let's fuel up the UAZ, fuel up the truck, and let's get out of here.
Aye.
Do we have enough fuel to get out of here with that?
we have enough fuel to get a pretty good distance from where we are.
Is it 3 liters of hex?
On the truck, it will be 6 litres. The fuel consumption is, if it was petrol on the Polish Night truck. So I put the Polish Night truck there for you.
Yeah.
Classic. It's on the landing page, not the not the map page.
It's all right. I'm just wanting to see where. So we need 9 liters of hex between the two vehicles. So we've got.
Yeah, I mean the UAZ actually uses more fuel than the truck. But also you've got to bear in mind is, so the fuel consumption is doubled for being on alcohol fuel, so it'd actually be 8 and 6. If you're traveling on the road, that's what the fuel consumption will be. If you go off-road, the fuel consumption is doubled again.
Well, we don't even have jerry cans to carry more, so Rick is correct in that we have enough to fill up both trucks to get us maybe 10 hexes. And then what?
And then we look for more fuel. But, like, we need to get out of these local politics here. Like, I just sense a whole shitstorm coming down on us in this area, and I'm not liking it. And you're the one who wants to protect these kids and get them out of here. And look, I do too, for sure. But this is not the place for us to be right now. And now that we've got 120 liters of fuel, I say we get some distance.
You know what? It's not a bad idea.
It gets us closer to home.
Yeah. And get these kids out of here, as long as they don't have a fit on the way.
I'm not gonna lie, I quite like the thought of settling down here. It's beautiful. But just for a week, eh? Nah, we could get far. Get closer home. It's the best way.
Also, the further away we get from these populations, the more likely it is we're going to be able to scavenge supplies for ourselves from the ruins. Because if people are kind of collecting in Conan and Tarek, we're likely to run into areas that are more open to us scavenging.
Right. So I think number one, so if we do get out, do we want to take the horse with us?
Why? As one more thing to mark us as an enemy of Conan to somebody down the road? No, leave it.
Let it loose, it'll sort itself out.
Yep.
Or trade for it again. You might get a little more fuel.
I don't know that we take one of their militia horses into town and say, hey, we found this horse. No. We don't know what happened to the rider.
Isaac is going back with the cans to get his rifle.
I feel like whoever brings that horse into town is going to get detained.
All right. Well, then do we butcher it for food?
Aye.
And at that, I'll look at Dottie.
Can do.
We still need to feed. Look, as much as I hate to kill a good working horse that'll help a community thrive and grow, we've got mouths to feed now too, and we got to think about our own survival.
Nobody can identify it once we've eaten it.
Butchering it would give you a good amount of food.
Heading to Maria. Whenever we're there, I'm going to find out if she found out any information about anything to do with Captain Gerard on the radio, if anything sounded at all, if she got any information about that angle, and then where to? How do we get her to a place where her kids can be safe or get a ride back to the States?
So I'm going to pull Isaac aside. And I'm going to be like,
doing all this on the way back, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We barely know each other, man. And I don't know if this is something you want to get wrapped up in. Like, you're from here. You have a better chance of surviving on your own without us tagging along, being silent grenades ready to blow up on you when somebody finds out that we're American and Scottish. You're welcome to join us. We've got room in the vehicles, but I don't know if this is even something you want.
Well, I do not know either. Not yet.
That's fair. I just wanted to speak to you because we've been ignoring the fact that you're not actually part of our unit. I mean, you are, and you've been welcome, and I appreciate the help you've given us.
Yeah, the help I've given you is not to help you.
Fair enough. Well, is there anything we need to say around here for you? Is there anything we can do to repay you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, man. Well, don't be afraid to ask.
Thank you. What? I've been meaning to ask. Why did you tear off the insignia from your uniform the day?
Because insignias don't matter anymore, and as we've proven in Conan, my insignia are not a good thing around here.
I just turn and walk away. Or I just go silent. I don't walk away. That'd be wrong.
Right.
We just kind of walk in silence.
Right.
Okay. You make your way back to the number station, and you lower down the jerry cans down the steps on the rope. Two of you bracing. And as you're doing this, you all hear the click of a cocking of a gun.
Wrong.
You kind of turn and look at where the sound came from. And you can see an American officer, rank of captain. Isaac, you recognize it as the American officer that you saw
running through the
forest. He's holding an AK, and he is pointing at you. Okay, what have we here? I think that I need what you got there more than you needed. And he just holds the gun there. And that is where we will leave it until next year.